Welcome to All Change, the programme that puts design at the heart of the learning experience. Today we're at St Catherine of Siena Primary School in Birmingham, where we'll be helping to create a versatile space for a variety of purposes. Everything from rewarding children for good behaviour to a place where they can go to release pent-up emotions. Some children find it difficult to deal with the daily routine of school life and need to work on their social skills and emotional intelligence. Having a calming space where they can reflect on their behavioural needs can reduce conflict in the classroom. Over a single weekend, we're going to be working with the community of St Catherine's School to help them to create a calm and flexible space where children can relax and chill out.
Small groups of children use the room for PHSE work, but it's far too cluttered. We're going to change the layout of the room and improve the storage to create a stylish, functional space. And also in today's programme, we've been to the education show at the NEC. We showcase a few of the exciting new products. And we look at a design for a new school from Wilkinson Eyre Architects, who say engineering and architecture are good bedfellows. And some products to help inspire your art classes. A part-time learning mentor uses the room for PHSE classes at St Catherine's. She also works with self-esteem groups to develop emotional intelligence and social skills. And it's used for the Thumbs Up Club, where children can come and play games. The challenge for the All Change designer is to meet the needs of children who are being rewarded for good behaviour and those who have social or behavioural problems.
If you set this space in the context of the rest of the school, then it doesn't really need to be a traditional classroom space.
Oh no, not at all. That's what I don't want it to be. And when they walk in, I want to give them that sort of wow factor. It has not got to be just the traditional learning environment with tables and, you know, hard chairs.
One of the things I picked up on was that you want it to be a happy space and for pupils to feel like they're being almost privileged by coming here.
Shalanda de Cruz Architects in Birmingham worked with the school on a design using mirrors, apple green storage units and an imaginative leaf transfer. There's even a punch bag to help release emotions.
Well, we've got the old dilemma of informal and formal teaching areas, and we're trying to provide a sort of informal zone, and you can see the mirrors are on here. There's our leaf pattern window and the other window coming in. So we've got this sort of sweeping datum. It's almost as if we've extended the window around the corner, so we've got more light coming in. We've got the leaf pattern being reflected twice and then the horizon line. Because one of the things that we've explored in earlier programmes was having this space to think, to daydream.
So we have the nature on the glass. There's dappled light coming into the room. We've got the green because it's a very good colour for children to relax with. What else is happening in the room?
Adjacent to that, we've also got, inevitably, storage.
Are these doors?
They are doors, yeah. They're sliding panels. And the idea is, rather like those puzzles that you used to have when you were a child that sort of move around, we've got these sliding panels here, which gives you the flexibility to change this storage. And, you know, perhaps there are some things that you want for some lessons that you don't want for others.
Only about £700 will be spent on the new room at St Catherine's, not the sort of money architects usually have at their disposal. But it's a challenge that Marco de Cruz is keen to meet.
As an architect, we're always saying that good design doesn't cost money, and I think you know, this is really trying to test that philosophy out by providing what the school needs, what the client wants, and what the users require in a very small space.
John, this is a really small room this week, but you're actually going to do a lot to it.
A lot, yes. I mean, the whole room is going to be a positive room, that's the idea. Emotional intelligence for the children. If they have stress, if they have problems, somewhere where they can come and release all of that. And the idea is that we're right in the middle of the city here in Birmingham. And so, of course, we have this sort of city skyline. We're trying to introduce some of nature there by putting a transfer on the window here behind me, showing leaves, so we have a balance, a contrast between the two. Not only that, that when children are upset and wound up and angry, we're going to use mirrors along right behind you here, so they can look at themselves and see the expressions they've actually got. Not only that, it'll actually bring more light into the room, making it a lot larger. And of course we have a punch bag here.
Do we get to play on that?
We will be playing that by the time we finish that thing, just to release all that emotions. Of course we have lots of storage units, old-fashioned utility units there. We're going to group all those together over on that wall there.
It's very cluttered at the moment, isn't it?
Very cluttered, so we'll organise all that as well.
So every space in this room is going to be a learning resource?
Very much so, yes, exactly. And the whole idea is to make it lighter, brighter and more relaxing as well at the same time.
They're all going to want to come here, aren't they?
I hope so, that's the idea.
Head teacher Liam Fadden leads the team in clearing out the room. Bringing the city skyline into the space is a key part of the design.
At the moment, you can see it's quite a small area. It's always very busy and it was quite cluttered. I use it with a wide variety of groups, ranging from children who work with anger management, self-esteem groups, so children who are either withdrawn, very shy, working with them to try and make sure that they speak up in class, making sure they're confident about themselves. Children who work with social skills groups, as well as using the room for Thumbs Up Club, which is a positive club for children who are rewarded for good practice throughout the week.
And you're using emotional intelligence heavily in your activities as well, aren't you?
Children who I work with aren't on special needs registers or anything like that. There's just something that society maybe has thrown at them, whether it's home, community. And I just think as long as we as a school can be very positive with them, making them secure, feel very special about themselves, that then we can start breaking down these barriers to learning and they then can move forward academically.
There's a great team spirit as well as the smell of paint.
Paulette, you're painting hard there. Now, you're a teacher at the school.
Yes.
And you're sending pupils to this space when it's finished. Tell me about how they use it.
They come here for lots of different reasons, you know, and some amongst them come for anger management, so it's really helped them to learn skills that they can then transfer into the classroom and just generally. So it's had a really positive impact on the school.
A sloping site can be a challenge for any school building project, but clever architecture can make a virtue of the landscape. Wilkinson Air Architects were given a sloping site as part of the Government Schools for the Future programme. Their solution was to cluster buildings around an agora, a covered walkway that provides social and circulation space. Wilkinson Air Architects have built a reputation for dramatic infrastructure projects. Their Millennium Bridge in Gateshead won the Sterling Prize. They redeveloped Stratford Station in London, and their Explore at Bristol Science Centre was highly regarded. The practice feels there's a lot to bring to school design.
We are very interested as a practice to be involved in the exemplar school design because it was an opportunity to explore a whole new world of education, but looking at it, new ways of doing or new ways of working, really. As a practice, we've always been interested in exploring new technology and, in fact, exploring boundaries generally. We don't see any distinction between architecture and engineering, so that's why we spend a lot of time working on infrastructure projects. And that's the way we see the future going, that the two disciplines, all the disciplines can sort of combine.
One of the key elements of our exemplar design was to break down the scale of a 1,200 pupil school into smaller identifiable units. We identified teaching clusters or learning clusters that could operate as a school within a school, providing better pastoral care and the opportunity for particularly younger pupils to identify with a smaller unit within the bigger school. So with a 1,200 pupil school, we end up with 4 learning clusters and what we call central facilities, which are the other specialist spaces around the site. So linking all these spaces is what we've called an agora space. And this is a covered area. It can have parts of it open. It can widen, vary in width to create a central forum type space in the centre to create a heart for the school. This is coming down in towards the entrance now, with the learning cluster on the left-hand side and the assembly building on the right-hand side, which can also operate as a community theatre and performing arts space. And we're actually turning left into where the agora space widens out to form a sort of amphitheatre type space, so a gathering point at the heart of the school. In this case, covered area to each side with screens, but an open hole in the middle over the amphitheatre. That could be more or less enclosed depending on the local environment and the preference of the school. Just coming up towards one of the learning clusters. So coming into the double height entrance hall space here, half the classrooms are upstairs, half downstairs. We've got a central sort of double height space which is a resource area with some IT, lockers either side of that space, so very overlooked, and acoustic treatment on the balconies so that the noise doesn't rattle around the space. And in the model we looked at here, there was also an emphasis on some covered outdoor teaching areas. So in the kind of nose of this cluster, there's an outdoor terrace at first floor level looking out over the playing fields.
Okay, children, in the room I'm going to make this big wheel, and it's going to go on the wall and you'll be able to spin it. And what I want you to do, all of you, is to draw a face. So we have lots of little faces all around the wheel. What sort of faces do I want?
Happy, sad, excited, frightened, surprised, hurt.
Because we're going to call this wheel a big wheel of emotions, so that when we're doing our lessons together, we'll be able to talk about all these different emotions that you're talking about right now.
The Wheel of Emotion will be a tool used by Dawn Kenny to encourage children to reveal their emotions during her work on anger management. Dawn uses mirrors to help children express their emotions.
Dawn, this is just a thought. On the plan here that Marco's done, there's 6 little boxes. You know the storage units we took from over there?
Yeah.
Come into here. When you walk through the door, it looks a little oppressive. And I just thought if we left one out there, but at the end of the day, it's your call.
Yeah. I think it's probably a good idea, actually, because as you walk in, and also as you're standing, it sort of adds to the shape of the room. And then I'll be able to utilise that wall there for, you know, children's display work and things like that. So it's probably a good idea, actually.
Good. As long as you have enough storage, I'm happy.
That's fine with me, John.
Good.
St Catherine's is blessed with large classrooms and the space to provide good learning environments. But while the interior of the school is pretty spacious, there are challenges outside.
Liam, you're really tight on space here, considering the size of school you have. This is all the car parking.
I think this car park would have been built, obviously, at the same time as the school 40 years ago. And I think at that time, the number of staff would have been far less than there is now. Mm-hmm. I think the way education has changed now, every class has got its own teaching assistant. So, you know, on the busiest day, we could have up to 30 staff. So, as you can see, you know, with this car park, there's no way you fit 30 cars into it.
And you're already doing something about it, aren't you? What are your plans?
We are. I mean, if you look at the surface of the actual car park, there's a lot of potholes. So this is all going to get resurfaced. All these slabs are going to get taken away, bollards are going to get taken away, and we're going to resurface the whole area. So it will create a lot more space, and it'll be flat, it'll be smooth, it'll be safe. And I think that will cost us something in the region of £15,000, £20,000. Yeah.
Liam, this is an area which you've got big plans for. It's one of the few external areas that hasn't been touched yet in the school, isn't it?
It is. I mean, we're in a city school, but we're looking to have this large grassy area, you know, to work with. We're planning on having a memorial garden here. We had a child that died, unfortunately, last year, who was in year 1, and we had a collection, and we've got money to have a nice bench where the children can sit down and reflect and think about Alicia, but also think about other things in their life. So the plan is in this summer term to actually develop this area as a memorial garden for her.
So somewhere where the children can relax and reflect, but also that you can use in the curriculum more widely.
It'll be an area where they can study science, look at the plants, have a look at the traffic that they might see, you know. So, you know, I think all aspects of the curriculum could be touched upon as well as their own reflective side as well.
Sliding doors were cut and painted for the new storage, and soft seating was assembled by staff who'd given up their weekend.
What a difference already, John. How's it going?
Pretty well, actually. Yeah, most of the painting is done. We've got the green in, we've got the white in. And of course this unit here, it's the old cupboards that were all dotted around, and to make more space over there we're going to make a softer area. They've all been sort of bolted and screwed together and fitted to the wall. I'm just doing these delightful sliding doors, and then just all the nice bits. This is the sort of the butch piece. And that's it.
This green's fantastic, isn't it?
No, I think it's a really good choice. It makes me feel very calm. It has so far.
Well, that makes a change. The Education Show is the place to find out what's new and innovative. Teachers come here to join in debates and discussions and to try out new products. We've been to view a number of products which can help inspire your learning environments of the future. 600 stands and 80 seminars, a lot to see and do. We talk a lot about flexibility in the classroom. Well, here's a product that really is totally flexible. At the minute it's a chair, now it's a table. How brilliant is that?
They stack as a chair, they stack as a table, so they meet the needs of teachers in schools in terms of space saving and flexibility. They're great for the classroom, the hall, any kind of area. You imagine a hall situation for an assembly, and then the caretaker can just flip every other row and it's an exam room. They're great products.
Pupils often tell me how important it is for them to have personal storage in schools. Having lockers where they can put their stuff makes life so much easier for them. The amount of materials they have to carry around for the modern curriculum means that the lockers have to be bigger. But they can also be small for primary children as well. These lockers are small enough to carry around. They can be personalised as well. They can even be used as seats. Fantastic. These small lockers were designed in association with Joined Up Design for Schools and have combination locks for tiny hands. Firing young people's imaginations is critical. Do you think we're doing enough of it? Well, what better way than with this amazing playboat? This is just great. I don't want to get off here. Just leave me here. Ship ahoy! A very high-tech signage display caught our eye.
It's a huge cost saving because they can easily display information without having to type out notices and spend ages updating pegboards. They can store information and recall information whenever they need to, and it comes across with a huge amount of impact.
The show had a huge variety of products for primary schools this year. Role play is ever popular. Teaching where to put that litter. ICT storage can be a real headache for schools. This solves the problem. Watch this. And I'm ready to work. This looks like something from the TARDIS. ICT products like this were all over the place. Charlie, this show is just far too big and too tiring. Make us a milkshake, will you? This will keep those boys aiming properly. This stand had beautifully made outdoor play equipment.
It's all made in Hampshire. We designed it all ourselves there. And then we've got a team of about 8 guys that bring in the raw materials, and it's as you said, it's all handmade.
And is it used with a lot of primary schools around the country?
I think it's growing with primary schools around the country. You know, more and more they're aware of their grounds being so important in development of the school projects, you know. And these are areas that can be exploited. Outdoor classrooms make such a massive difference to schools, and this really works for them.
Clever idea, this. Put children's photos next to the coat pegs. It's been a brilliant show. I'm absolutely worn out. There's been so much to say, but I can't take any more. take me home.
Don't you worry, with me, mistress.
Back at St Catherine's, they're laminating emotional prompt cards. Mind your head, John.
You put that there.
Dawn hates throwing things away.
Those are my quiz.
Sure, that's mine.
No. I've got to keep those. No.
They're not very
No.
nice. They can go.
No, they don't. Sure.
John Craig puts the mirrors up. We're nearly done.
At St Catherine's, the pupils have been prioritising what they want to do with their learning environment. One of the things that Key Stage 2 chose was the toilets. They've been looking at colours particularly in terms of redecorating their toilets. And I've got some of the school council here with me and I'm going to ask them what they think. They haven't seen the toilets until today. Caleb, what did you think when you walked in here and saw the lovely terracotta on the wash hand basins?
I thought the terracotta was ugly.
Ugly? What colour did you think it was going to be?
Like a sort of red colour.
You thought it was going to be red. It's not quite what you think you picked out then. Sinead, we're in the boys' toilets. Shh, don't tell anyone. What do you think?
I just feel sorry for the boys because that looks so pink.
So what colours would you have chosen for the boys' toilets?
I haven't got a boy's mind, so I have no clue.
You're going to leave it to them. But you're impressed by the mirrors, aren't you? You think they're really good. That's how you posing earlier. Yeah.
John uses the old string and pencil technique for the Wheel of Emotion.
Thank you.
The children use their computer skills to design labels for the faces on the wheel.
Expressing themselves creatively in art lessons can have a huge impact on a pupil's achievements across the curriculum. Whether it's sculpture, pottery or painting, they can be fun and intellectually stimulating. Even splashing paint around can release creative energy. Here are some ideas to help your pupils soar in art lessons. These aprons can be personalised. A beautifully designed easel. This encourages collaboration in art. Inexpensive, but great for young ones. This bag stops all that wet paper everywhere. Drawing aids help give perspective. The British Educational Suppliers Association have a code of practice which their members comply with. You can find details of all these products on the Teachers TV website.
The leaf print transfer on the window will help bring the outside into the room. The punch bag needs assembling, Mr. Fadden.
I think I've let the air out. I think so.
John Craig's a carpet fitter too, you know.
This hall acts as the heart of St Catherine's School. A whole range of activities take place here during the week. Everything from whole school assemblies 3 times a week, dining, PE, even old age pensioner parties at Christmas and the school pantomime. But this space is also on a major circulation route, linking Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2. So it can be very disruptive when activities are happening here. Schools need to think about how they use the communal spaces and where they place them. Should you have a separate dining hall and PE and assembly point? Should you have them together? How will it work in your school? Architects really need to think and help schools to prioritise those issues as they design for the future.
Almost finished now as Mrs. Kenny helps put the faces onto the Wheel of Emotion.
John, from a really cluttered classroom, you've managed to create a really tranquil space. How did you do it?
It is very tranquil, actually, and I mean, it's a lighter and brighter sort of room. I think the green, we were talking about the green, how calming it was, and I do feel rather calm at the moment. What I like about this room, it's broken up. It's definitely not a classroom, and it's not overly cluttered as well. And it's got lovely things like the spinning wheel, with all the emotions and the faces on. The seating over in the area there as well, which I think is sort of soft, and it breaks the room up a little bit. And, of course, the mirrors. I think it would be great when they're sitting down there and they're trying to show their emotions. Because, of course, you know, when we're angry, when we're stressed out, as I've been on a few times, you don't actually see how you look yourself. So it'll be good for them to see their reflection.
I know how you look when you're angry. Sometimes you might need the punch bag.
And there's been a couple of occasions when it has been bang, and it works. It really does work. It's a great stress reliever. So all in all, you know, I'm personally very pleased with it. I think Marco's come up with a great idea, and a job well done by everybody involved.
It's a more zoned room with space to reflect. There's versatile storage made from recycled cupboards. Release that tension. The leaf transfer helps keep the glare off the mirrors. Dawn tried out the new room.
I feel happy when I get new toys. I feel happy when I'm on television.
Very nice.
Dawn, it's all finished. Are you happy with the room?
It's such a fabulous transformation. I can't believe it.
And will it change the way that you teach and the children learn in this room now that it's different?
Having this area here, it's just a lot more informal for a lot of the group work that we do. And then, you know, having the desks and that over there, you just feel as if you can use the whole space now, whereas before you was always in the middle, whereas now we can utilise every area in the room.
Liam, what do you think?
It's just so airy and so light, really stimulating, and I think the amount of space there for the children to work in is tremendous.
We've had great fun. Have you enjoyed it?
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's just a once-in-a-lifetime experience, I think, for the children, for us as staff, and for all those involved. It's been, you know, thank you.
And thank you. If you've completed an exciting project or would like help transforming an area of your school, All Change would love to hear from you. You can contact us through the Teachers TV website, where you'll find details of today's programme. From St Catherine of Siena School, it's goodbye from All Change.